Well, hey, Boo.
Hey, Boo. I have a cat.
You have a cat. You're the crazy cat lady in the showing right now.
You made me into this.
I did. I got a Snapchat memory from 10 years ago. You were trying to go pss, 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 to a cat underneath a car in a random city. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, I didn't show it to you, but I could probably pull it up. So,
Okay.
well, we're back for episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
So appreciate everybody following along our adventures of reading our books, our adventures of books with Boo. We are going to be jumping into the book today, Me Before You. But before we jump into that, we're going to jump into the beer.
Yes.
And so today we're going to be trying something from Monday Night Brewing in Atlanta, Georgia. It's called Mischief Managed. I'll try to hold it up for the camera right there. It's a little blurry. See if we get that in focus. No, it's trying to focus on you. Okay. Well, it says that it is a white wine barrel aged or barrel soured and barrel fermented, no boil Berliner style Weiss. Fresh guava and passion fruit were added to barrels for secondary fermentation. So the glassware, we're almost in the right glassware. This is 4.5% alcohol. Very cool color and a very cool artwork and bottle. Clear, you don't see a lot of clear bottles. So pretty stoked about this. So I'm going to crack it open while you start talking about what we jumped into this week.
Yes, but I'm going to start with the word.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, yeah. So tell me the word before I do that so I can focus.
Okay. Excuse me. So the word is bibliophile.
Oh, okay.
It's super easy word. It's basically a bookworm or a person who collects or has a great love of books.
So
it's like
you're
me.
one of those. Yeah.
I have over 500 books in my office / library.
What was the word? Barnacle file?
Bibliophile.
Bibliophile. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see if I can try to use that today.
Yeah. Probably.
I'm going to open this.
Okay. Probably won't be able to. But while we're waiting on him to open this is Bernard. He's our kitten. And here's some cat ASMR.
Hold his belly up to it.
He purrs nonstop.
All right. So we have our word, bibliophile. And we have our beer, Mischief Managed. So cheers, Boo.
Cheers.
Let's smell it first.
Smells good.
I love Monday night. I'm just going to go off real quick. Everything Monday night does, we love. When we first started dating, well, actually a little bit into us dating, and we got our dog, we used to go there every Monday night. And we'd hang out on their patio when she was a pup. She's 11, just turned 11. So it's been a couple years now. But ever since then, I mean, everything Monday night has done, I've just been a fan of. Yes. I was lucky enough to do a collaboration beer with them for a competition. Yeah. So that was really neat. Full circle moment for me, for sure. So I'm excited for this one. I know it's good because I've had it, but let's do it.
Oh, that's nice and tart.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
All right. I like that. Okay, so let's jump into the book. Where are we at? What are we doing?
So basically, spoilers. Do not listen or watch if you have not read this and you don't want spoilers. But basically, it's about a young lady named Louisa Clark. She goes by Lou. Loses her job, needs to find a new one because she's basically helps support her family. And she gets hired as a caregiver for the Trainer family. And she initially thinks it's going to be an old man that's quadriplegic, but it ends up being their son. And he's only 6 to 8 years older than her. I forgot. It said it once in the book.
Yeah. I think he's 35. I think she's 26.
Yeah. Something like that.
Maybe turns 27, but yeah, keep going.
She does turn 27 in the book, but basically she's closer to his age than what she thought. And he is basically a very surly, disappointed with life man, doesn't want to be near anyone or be nice, because of what has happened to him, because he wasn't born that way. He was in an accident, and basically, overall, the book is about them connecting. It's about life. It's about living your life. It's about growing as a person, I think. But what did you think about it overall?
I thought it was a good book. I I have found that I like stories that are either real or could be real.
Yes.
So that goes for movies and also books now. So after reading the the Maze Runner series,
Yep.
the sci-fi, the fantasy, dystopian was cool. It was I saw it all in my mind, which was really neat. It was entertaining. But in this book, the way that it was written, I could kind of see the small family dysfunction and like basic family dysfunctions and things. And then, the way that it described the town that she would go through, and, it just made it more real, because that could happen. And that is happening. People are out there, caring for people all the time, losing their jobs all the time. So I thought it was really cool because of that. I enjoyed it.
Well,
I liked Will's character.
Yes.
In the beginning, I liked him kind of till, towards the end as well. Spoiler, we know what happens, but
yeah, he was very sarcastic, which was fun to read because you could just imagine the banter in your head.
yeah,
But what I think, to go off of what you said, is that it's very real, and the dysfunction. Like, we really could see the dysfunction within her family and then within his family. More so hers, but we'll get into that.
well,
But
the book was based around her, so
yes,
we see her home life
more.
Yep.
Bernard's exploring.
Yeah, he made a noise somewhere. I think you got.
Okay. So I want to start with who she is as a person, Louisa, and how her family, her boyfriend, how everyone treats her kind of got her into this stuck position. Like, she never thought she was good enough. Like, I have notes beyond notes of how her family talked down to her. Most of it was taken in joke form, and you could see her taking it that way. But then later on, she'd say something where she's like, "Oh, my sister's smarter than me." Yeah, it could be true, but the way she said it, it was like she was downplaying herself.
Yep.
And then, like, Patrick, her boyfriend, you could see him not giving her attention just reinforce the fact that she's not important enough. And I think you could see her come out of her shell more so as her and Will develop a friendship and then eventually love one another.
Yep.
So what do you think about her family? What did you say about her sister when we watched the movie last night?
I didn't like her in the book.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of reasons why. It's the very me before you attitude, which I got that from something online when I was doing some research. But it broke it down and it made sense. She had the attitude of, it's me before you. She went off. She got pregnant. She had to come back.
She threw a fit about the room.
And
she wasn't even going to be there.
Right. So because she came back with the kids, she thought she deserved to have the bigger room, even though it should have been Lou's. So Lou was in the closet for a while, and then when she decides to go back to university, it turns into, okay, well, Lou says I should get the bigger room, and then it just turns from there. And she says, well, that doesn't make sense because that's my room, and like when we come back, so it's, hey, I want the room when I'm not there during the week. I want it there when I'm there. Also, Lou, you need to stay around because you need to provide for mom and dad when Trina, the sister's at uni. So.
And it's funny.
I didn't like her. She was selfish. It felt like that way. Or, everybody's in their own world and it is their life and they want the best for themselves.
Yes.
But, that it made it very apparent in the book and the writing that that's how she was.
Yeah. Very self-centered, arrogant in a way. Like I deserve everything. But it's funny about the room situation because that was not like that, but our family did that.
Oh, yeah.
My sister was the oldest. I'm the middle, and then my brother is the youngest. Of course, you know that, but for people out there, my sister got the big room above the garage, And it was fine because she was the oldest. I got the second biggest room, and then my brother got the third biggest room. And then after my sister went to college and moved out, I got the big room, but I'm only 2 years younger than her. So I had it for 2 years, then I went to college, and then it became my brother's. So I was like, always like, that's so unfair.
So the room situation. So yeah, so you understand that.
Yeah, like I understood that I'm going to go away. I'm only going to have it for 2 years because I'm 2 years younger than my sister.
Right.
And I mean, it's part of life. I'm not going to throw a fit over it. Once you move out, you move out. So
when I moved out, my room turned into a workout room.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it did it.
Yep.
But so we get it. But reading about a sister like that, it's kind of frustrating, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning of the book, you can see how she was so me, the sister, Trina. But then toward the end, after she started hearing about Will, she did start to try to be there more so for Lou.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that on, let's see. I can't find it.
Well, I can tell you one example what you're looking for is when she's taking Lou to the airport at the end.
Yeah.
She's racing and she says, hey, don't let me lose my license or get points on my license. And, you not make it there.
Yeah.
So like, she was like, hey, I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit.
Well, chapter 25, it was her POV, Trina's POV. And she was like, Lou didn't leave her room for 36 hours after the holiday.
Yep.
She had told Trina, Lou had, about everything and how she said she loved him. And then Trina kind of went on about, like, she kind of went into sister mode, like when the reporters start coming.
Yep.
And then she called Patrick. So you can see some good in her, even though we didn't like her throughout the book.
She grows. I think everybody in the book grows. Or the majority of the characters grow, and
Yeah.
she grows a little bit like that.
Yeah.
I could see it from that angle, yeah.
Another thing I want to talk about going on with like her relationship with her family and Patrick versus Will.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it with her birthday. Yeah, Will kind of kept taking digs at Patrick because he doesn't like him.
Right.
That was the fun part of it.
It was funny.
It was also very funny in the movie how the actors played that out, even though the movie didn't include everything from the book.
Right.
Which that was your first movie to book or book to movie viewing. So it's kind of fun to see that for you. But just even though her parents couldn't afford anything, they had made her a very thoughtful gift, the photo album. But there was a part where there was a picture from her year that she was 20. And that's when that bad thing happened to her. She was assaulted. But no one in her family knew about that. Even her sister didn't really talk to her about it, even though her sister found her.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's something you keep to yourself in some situations. Like, I could see you not talking about it. Because the first person she told was Will.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But it described her as glossing over that picture and turning the page really fast. And no one seemed to notice that in her family. Yeah, she loved the gift, but like they don't notice those little things about her. And then Patrick got her a star pendant necklace.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it wasn't her style, wasn't anything like that. And then Will got her the bumblebee tights.
And she really liked those.
Yeah.
Well, I got a little bit of pushback about that. Only like a little, like from my perspective, like, I don't know if I was at a family birthday party and somebody was flipping through a photo album and they were flipping at one speed through all the other pages and then quickly went over a different page. Like, why? I don't understand. My mindset is like, why would somebody notice that she flipped quicker over that one? And why are we expected to notice that? Or like,
well, you wouldn't be expected to, but they don't notice little things about her throughout the book. like how she feels around her family, how she's basically pushed around. When her dad calls her some jokes, let's see. Chapter 1, page 16. This is like one of the first instances we see how they talk down to her or laugh at her expense is, Jesus Christ, said my father. Can you imagine if it wasn't punishment enough ending up in a ruddy wheelchair, then you get our Lou turning up to keep you company. Bernard, my mother scolded. Behind me, Granddad was laughing into his mug of tea. So, like, that's the first instance.
Yep.
And then, let's see. Her mom said not to wear her hair in the Princess Leia things, which were the 2 buns. They always make fun of how she dresses. And we learn later that she dresses like that because she didn't care anymore and she became fearless after what happened to her in the maze. And she didn't want to attract the wrong type of attention. Instead, she wanted to stand out for a different reason. Yeah, it could push people away, but that's who she is now. Yeah. What do you think about how her family teases her?
Well, it just goes back to the writing style that I thought was more real, being that it showed the dysfunction of the family.
Yeah.
I didn't try to dig into every little thing like that as far as like, oh, well, this is a reason that her dad sucks or anything. It was just like those little things all added up into showing the function of a family. And to me, it seemed like a normal family. It doesn't seem like it does like everybody has their own issues and everybody is, their own way. And it showed that like the dad would make like a joke about it and people would laugh, which is how the family was. And the sister was, hey, it's all about me. And that's how she was, that's just kind of how I got it. What I got out of it. I didn't get deep like that. So.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, yeah, I agree. It does show the dysfunction.
It's not even dysfunction. It's function. It's how their family functions.
But also it's like, if she's not laughing at all of them, is it really a joke? In a way, it's bullying.
Doesn't change that. That's still how the family is.
Yeah.
Just because obviously they don't care because she hasn't laughed at any of it and they're still doing it, so it just shows how that is.
Yeah. True. Well, then going on to Patrick, chapter 7, page 89, she described her first dates with Patrick and she thought, this man will never hurt you. And then later on, and then he turned into Marathon Man. So everyone changes, right? Everyone grows into who they're meant to be or where their interests take them. And yeah, you can change. But his change became very obsessive and kind of pushed her to the side, which that I think helped push her to be more open and welcoming to the friendship with Will that she developed. But also what you had said, and I agree with you when we were watching the movie, is
also found this online.
But I agree with it. You agree with it too, is it was emotional cheating. So my thing is, if you're not happy in a relationship, even if you don't know what it is, and you become closer to someone else in the relationship, don't continue on, don't drag it out, or take a break and think to yourself what's going on. But yeah, what do you have to say about that?
What do I think about Patrick?
Yeah, and then the emotional cheating and
I don't know, because as a dude who jumps into things and gets obsessive about things, I kind of feel
you're not like Patrick.
Well, yeah. I'm not training for a triathlon or whatever, but like it's just the new thing that he's into, at the time. And she went through the list of things that he was into when they first started dating 6 years ago. Which people, like you said in the beginning, people change and people grow and stuff. So
Yeah.
right now, his stage of life is fitness and trying to become fit or stay fit and train, and that was taking a lot of his time. He also won small entrepreneur of the year 2 years running.
Yeah.
Or
I think that was only in the movie, or was it in the book too?
I don't know. That might be something I'm conflating. But he did have. So he talked about he had a business with a buddy or whatever, and it was doing well. So he had things going on. So he had the business, and he focused on his health.
Yeah. Then his friends that are part of that same group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't think he deserved to have Louisa
Emotionally
cheat on him if all he was doing is just training for a marathon.
Yeah.
She should have talked to him beforehand and like, hey, this is getting out of hand. And
yeah.
Communication is always the key for a lot of things. That would help a lot of situations in books. It seems like, hey,
yes,
if they would have communicated, they would know that they're still in the building, that they shouldn't leave them in the burg for the last book or this one. Hey, I don't like how much you're doing. Okay, well, because once he realized or started to, like, he did make the dinner for her, and he was like, he tried to not talk about
running
and everything. So, he put an effort towards it. Not every woman's this way, but it just seems like, they want you to read their mind instead of like tell you, like, that's what I got out of it as a guy.
Are you okay? I'm fine. When she is not fine.
She's not fine. Yeah. So,
but at least, guys, if she says I'm fine, she may not be fine. That's true. I mean, communication is key, but that you will find in a lot of the books that are out there are mainly communication issues that cause the.
Because if they communicated perfectly, there wouldn't be a book about it.
Yeah. So,
I am glad that they broke up at the end. I did want Lou and Will to be together.
Yes.
Which I'm typically not. I don't really care, but I'm like, oh, I like that one. So like, I also didn't like that she was in a relationship while she was creating those feelings, but nothing ever happened or anything. So it wasn't. I don't know. I'm torn, but it was like, in the end, I was like, oh, okay, that's a cute relationship that I would like. Let Running Man do his thing.
Yeah, it's of more substance.
Yeah.
Yeah, more substance. It just sucks that Will decided to hit that choice. But I get it because Will, there is a page. Chapter 7, page 93 to 94. That's where you can read the description of Will's pain, like what causes him pain, what happens with his body, and it's like a daily thing. And that actually really hit home for me because of me, and it gives you something to think about. Like, Will is in pain every single day, even though he can't can't operate most of his body. He can still feel the tingly sensations. He has to be helped to move so he doesn't get bed sores. I don't know. It was just a really deep description for his pain. So I can kind of understand how he went from this adventurous guy living a big life, like always going on adventures, vacations, making big deals at work, being the man. Going from that to wheelchair bound would be so depressing. So I hated his decision, but I get it. I like how throughout the book there was one chapter for Camila's POV, Steven's POV, Trina's POV. I like that they inserted those because you kind of get to know those characters more, even though they initially come off as characters.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be around them because Will's mom, Camilla, is so like uptight and everything. But then you read her perspective, and she wanted to keep the garden so her son had something beautiful to look at. So he would have some, like, see things that continue to grow and continue to thrive and live. Then you see Trina's POV and you see, yeah, she's still not my favorite person, for me at least, but she cares for her family and Lou. And then Steven, that kind of disappointed me because he had that comment in there, or the thought that if Will died, he would be free.
Mm-hmm.
And that's shows you in a way the impact that has on family members. You could see it in Camilla's POV chapter and then Steven's. Both of them had different thoughts around Will. But that kind of made me sad reading that, where he's like, he could be free.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, let's move on to beer number 2 real quick. This is also from Monday Night Brewing because I was just recently there. This is Tears of Our Enemies. It's an imperial milk stout aged in bourbon barrels with coffee, cocoa nibs, and vanilla.
I love vanilla.
So the back says, this vintage of Tears of Our Enemies was aged for 36 months in freshly dumped Heaven Hill bourbon barrels. We then added 2 pounds of Ugandan vanilla beans for each barrel, along with a ridiculous amount of toasted cocoa nibs and freshly roasted coffee. Serving temp 45 to 50, alcohol 13. Brewed at Monday Night 2025. So contains lactose, milk, sugar. So I'm excited for this one. So
those ones are usually good when they have lactose in them.
I think that the overall story, like as overall, if we just look at the whole picture, I think the whole thing was good. I think it was a good story. I think if we look at characters, I think that the characters were written well enough and had enough curiosity behind them, like you were saying. So, like, you didn't really care about the Mrs. Trainer at first, but then her having a chapter, so it kind of shows her side of things. Trina having a chapter, Steven having a chapter, like those. Oh, even Nathan, the helper, having a chapter.
Had one. That's the one I missed. Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool because that showed their POVs. Because most of the time in the books that I've read that are stories like that is always, it's one narrator, it's one person, it's Thomas. Thomas is the guy throughout the whole thing. We meet other characters, but Thomas is the main guy.
You're gonna probably like our next book then.
Okay. So I think characters. I think the way that they were written. Well, cheers, boo.
Yeah, cheers.
Let's try this.
This is thick.
It's thick. It's dark. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Their stouts are some of the best.
Wow.
The brewery in California has really good stouts too, but man, Monday Night rocks it.
Well, usually barrel aged things, like sometimes they're like too strong for me, but this is good.
I like that. It's smooth. So I started taking some notes. Like once I finished the book, I started breaking things down. So I found this book to be written in a real style, which I kind of already went over. So someone, I sourced it right here. Someone online said that they trashed the disabled / weak and perpetuated. That's the word I was looking for. Says they trashed the disabled and weak and perpetuated certain stereotypes. So I have the source right here. But to me, it made it more real because it kind of goes to like, I understand what they're saying because where they say, like they even give examples. So right here it says when Louisa first heard of that there's a job as a caretaker, she kept emphasizing her disgust to having to wipe old people's bottoms. She brought it up 5 times, she says. The dedication and showing contempt towards a very respectable job of being a caretaker was simply childish. And then, let's see, Trina made a face because they talk about what if he has to use a computer to talk with. And then it says, "Can you get me a drink of water?" And puts the dashes like a computer's talking. Like, when I heard it, they actually did like a computer voice. Like,
oh, really?
"Can you get me a drink of water?"
Yeah.
But a lot of people that don't deal with disabled people on a daily basis, that's where their mind would probably go.
It's
and
stereotypical.
It's stereotypical. Yeah. It's definitely, so them saying stereotypes, perpetuated certain stereotypes. But stereotypes are there for a reason, if not real, but like that's what people have, right?
Yeah, that's like real life right there. That's what people think.
Yeah, so if that's what people think, I think that it made the book more real, because if they went into it with the golden mindset of, oh, I will be a caretaker because I will learn, blah, blah, whatever.
No one's that optimistic.
No one's that optimistic, So like Trina, who has worked in a coffee shop for 6 years.
Florist shop.
Sorry, Trina, my bad. Louisa, who has worked for 6 years in the cafe, the coffee shop. Yeah. Of course, she hasn't been a caretaker. She doesn't know what it takes and everything. Yeah. So like they're not around it. I took that as the writing being like, hey, that's how most people would probably think. Well, so I thought that was kind of strange.
Well, going off that, like one of the first things you said about that is like, they were pushing the narrative, or the author was pushing the narrative of disabled people being weak. I think she corrected that as Lou, and then even Trina got to know Will more, or got to know his story more. Yep. And then you could see Lou saying, like, it's not like that. You don't understand. I don't have to do that. Yeah, you can't shake his hand, but nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Like there's an intimacy that she builds with him, feeding him and being by his side. And she's like, it's not a big deal. So I don't think the author was pushing that narrative. I think she was just showing this is what it looks like when people don't understand.
Right.
And now that she does understand, this is what it looks like. Yep. It's normal.
Yep. I agree with that. The person goes on to bring up points about how throughout the whole book, there's just somebody in a wheelchair can't have a good life. That's their outlook on what they took away from the book. And I mean, even when she's in the chat rooms chatting with people who are saying, well, hey, I've learned how to relive, and things like that. So it did show a different aspect of it. But obviously Will's life was unique and he was a globetrotter and all that. But it still showed other sides of it. There were people that are still able to go do things. So I don't know. I obviously didn't agree with this person's opinion, but it was something good to read about and like just see to kind of get my own opinion on it.
Well, it's the different perspective. But like you even saw Lou find that ranch that they couldn't go to. But
yep, and that was for quadriplegic or disabled people to do things.
And I think that's great.
Yeah,
like definitely if you used to live that type of life.
Yeah. I put Trina as definitely my least favorite character. Family dynamic, I got a good sense of what Lou's family was like from the writing. So that's, going back to that. We already touched on that, but I had that in my notes. It seemed to be like a normal family with their small issues and the fights between characters, just going off the room things, just the normal everyday family life. That's the typical, and I would say the typical American life. Obviously, this took place in England, but I just saw it as like a real thing. Mm-hmm. They weren't all prim and proper and not everything was perfect. So that's just normal, So,
well, another real thing is they use real places that you can even attest to. What was it? Chapter 12?
Yeah. One thing I liked was hearing about the Red Lion when they said, oh yeah, ever since the Red Lion closed or something, they go to a different pub. But when I lived in England, the Red Lion was my local pub. So it wasn't in my town. The Red Lion had multiple pubs across England, but that was pretty cool. And then also they mentioned on the radio listening to Classic FM,
which your mom loves,
and which my mom loves. And so when I told her about that the other day, it was funny because she said that she had just downloaded an app that day on her phone to listen to Classic FM. So it made it even more real for me because I knew the Red Lion. I've eaten dinner at the Red Lion as a child. So.
And listen to Classic FM.
Listen to Classic FM on the way home from school with my mom. So I thought that was cool. Yeah. Everybody has different reading levels, obviously. I'm just starting out. But
you're doing great.
I'm listening really well. Let's see. The setting, I got a good feel for the little village that they lived in. I really painted a picture.
No.
I said I kind of want to visit it.
Me too. Like we've always talked about going to see where you lived in England, and I can't wait. But like, even reading about it and then watching the movie, seeing the little town, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so picturesque and like maybe glamorized for me because I live in America, but like, it looks so beautiful.
You know, a lot of people always say the grass is always greener on the other side. Not saying you want to move there, but like you're seeing something different. You're like, oh, wow. But those people probably see pictures of where we live and they're like, oh, wow, you know?
Yeah.
And then we'd be like, oh, it's just where we live. It's just normal. And they're the same. Like, oh, why would you want to come visit my small town?
I do like our town.
Different. Yeah, I love our town, but it's difference in perspectives, you know? Someone else online did a lot of research after I read it. I was like, let me pull some stuff up. Someone else online said that there was a lot of me before you actions in the book. Yeah. So I did bring that up earlier. So like the dad cheating, that was my life before his family. So that's me before you. The sister not staying, saying that she can't put her life on hold due to Will's decision. That's a me before you thing. Lou starts changing that to a you before me when she starts taking it seriously / find out what she's doing. So it turns into, it was a me before you for her as well. It was, hey, I need the money. I'm not here for you or whatever. And then it changed completely and says, hey, I'll do whatever you need. And like she changed. So,
but also she was you before me with the whole family too.
Oh, right. Yep. So, and Lou was kind of, I guess, always that way. It was the you before me. And then with Patrick too. And I think the person that broke that down was like, she kind of always had that, but like, I thought that was like unique reading that.
But I like at the end, she was doing me before you.
Yeah.
She switched from you before me, except for the job part, and then went to me before you at the very end when she was in France. And she was living for herself.
Yep.
And I like that.
So the ending, I didn't want Will to obviously do what he did.
Yeah.
It's definitely different from the typical fairy tale ending. So I thought that was unique. Like I said, Will was my favorite character. So I didn't want to lose him, obviously, but it's like, okay, well, you know, that's part of the book. It's different than what it's normal, you know, for these.
It's not a happily ever after.
Right.
Did you tear up?
No.
I did.
I did not.
And then when we watched the movie, I did.
Yeah, you did last night. You're like, oh, I got something in my eye.
It was so sad.
It did. I mean, watching it and listening to it, I mean, I tried to put myself in everybody's shoes. I put myself in Luisa's shoes. I put myself in Will's shoes. Try to put myself in his parents' shoes. Just everybody, because everybody has a story. So until you know their story, you can't really judge them. So trying to put yourself in their shoes, it was like, okay, well, I am Will's age, and I like to go. I like to do things. So like, let me sit back and actually think about like, what would I think if I literally just that would be completely different, you know? So
I'd get on your nerves so bad.
Yeah. So this is on Reddit. Our books 4 years ago. They rated this a 6 out of 10. This is their thoughts. Intense, insensitive, mocking, and insulting for a book about a disabled person. They mock them, do all that. Trina made a face. I mean, they have points for all these.
Yeah.
Anyways, we spoke about that last week. If you have facts from the book or things that you can pick out from the book, you can write it either way. So this is what they're doing, which is great.
And that's how they took it and read it. Yep. And that's how they felt. Yes.
Anyways, I guess at the core of the book, it paints a very, very bleak picture of someone living with a disability, so much that they have no choice but to commit suicide. And the message it sends doesn't sit well with me. So, that was kind of the part where it's like, well, they didn't mention like other things. So like the whole book is about Will. So obviously that was his situation.
Yeah.
You wanted to read a book about someone not doing that. Don't read the book about someone trying to kill themselves, Yeah. Come on now. Somebody asked, they're like, are there other books about people in wheelchairs? And somebody's like, yeah, there's a lot. And then they commented 2 years later, and they're like, but I forgot what they were. So like, if you want to read other ones, apparently there's more. Lack of coherent personality direction for characters. The characters all over the place, and I don't even know how the book how the book would like me to view them. Camilla Trainer had the sensitivity to we're gonna skip that. Accede to her son's request of suicide. Then there's Steven Trainer, blah, blah, blah. Will needs to be allowed to feel like a man. That's not going to be possible if his mother or his sister, for that matter, is always on hand.
I could see that point, though.
The feeling like a man part?
Yeah, because he was the big man before his accident.
Yeah. And then even the part of I just want to, when they come back from the wedding, I like the line of, I just want to be like a guy who just took a girl to a wedding or a classical concert in a red dress. And it was like,
that was,
that feeling.
That line really pointed out the difference of his life and what he wished for.
Mm-hmm.
Something as simple as that. That's all he wanted in that moment. It was sad.
Somebody says dislikable main character. Louisa is whiny, looking down on all types of jobs, even though she doesn't have any qualifications. Once again, that puts you back at the real thing. Because how many people lose a job and say, "Oh, I need a job, but I'm not going to work at McDonald's. I'm not going to go be a trash man." Not everybody's going to jump on the first opportunity, even if they should. So I just think that made it real. Well, people pretty much right away just started disagreeing. They say, "Oh, I could agree with you on this, this, and this, but I also think this, this, and this."
Yeah.
So it seemed like a lot more people read it and took it kind of the way I did.
Yes.
About like, well, you. It's good to deep dive into it, but like you're kind of deep diving way past the pool almost. Like you're trying to dig into it more than it should be dug into almost. I don't know. I guess you could dig into any book as deep as you want. But at some point, you're probably making things up and the author had no intention of.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing about books.
Yeah.
Is that if it makes you feel a certain way, they're still talking about it.
They're still talking about it.
We're talking about it right now.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think it's great when people disagree about the meaning of books and what's behind it and deep dive, and then those who don't. I love that. Like it shows the different things that can come out of one piece of text.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
good for them for disagreeing. But I agree with you on this, though. I like the real life aspect of it.
I think that the book did, as a whole, laid out a few questions. Like it had a bigger question about it, like assisted suicide.
Yeah.
I mean, that brings up that whole topic, That's
a tough one.
Yeah, which is, we're not knowledgeable enough to discuss any of that. No. So we're too dumb for that conversation.
Yes, we are.
It made me think the whole time. The book really did make me think. Whereas the Maze Runner series made me entertained entertained me for the whole book.
Yeah.
This made me think the whole time. Put me, like I said, I was in their shoes. Whether it be like, oh, imagine if I was sitting on someone's lap at a wedding spinning around.
That would be so much fun.
How would I feel?
I like how they were like, let's make them talk or something.
Yeah,
and then
like if they're talking, let's make them talk. Yep.
That was a good scene.
That was a really good scene. But the book did makes you think about a few different things, or made me think about things. So that was pretty cool.
Well, going off of that scene, it's the don't give poop about what people think of you,
Yeah.
It's just let's go have fun and have fun.
YOLO.
YOLO.
YOLO. I think I could agree with everybody online, and you probably feel the same, but a lot of people were like, how can you say that you just had the best 6 months of your life and still decide to do it? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand that. Like, that part I was questioning. I'm like, well, if at the end of that 6 months, Will saw something, he obviously saw that it wouldn't work out long term in his mind, but
he felt he couldn't give her what she deserved.
Yeah.
And it was worth it to end it in the relationship and his life now so she can go on to continue to live her life.
Yep. Which was very me before you thing,
Yeah.
He didn't put her first. Hey.
In a way he did though, because he's like, I don't want her to resent me in the future, even though she probably wouldn't have. But also ultimately it's like your life, whereas my life is my life, Yeah. Like we can decide things together, but also it's like if you want to go open your brewery, all I can do is support you, and you did. And now you're making great beer. Whereas I work from home. It's great. You supported me when I changed jobs. It was perfect. And now I'm happier, So can only support each other's decisions.
Yep. All right. So are we ready for the 1-star reviews?
Sure.
First off, what's your star? What do you give it?
Do you want to guess?
This is out of 5.
Yeah, out of 5.
I think that you gave it a 4 or 5.
Nope. Close. I gave it a 4-1.
4-2 is going to be my second guess.
Nice. What's yours?
I'll probably say 4.
Nice. That's your highest one.
Yeah. Because it was entertaining, but it also made me think. So it added a couple extra points onto it from that. Whereas the Maze Runner just was entertaining for me, but this one made me think.
Okay, let's hear these 1-star reviews.
All right. So the majority of these 1-star reviews have huge spoilers. So we're just going to kind of browse them, or we're just going to kind of go through them real fast. Kindle customer says, 1 star, great writing, but quality of life isn't all about what we can do or have, but we can give an. Okay, I don't know what that means. I loved this book until near the end, and then I hated it. In fact, I not only hated it, it made me furious. I can't believe that this author felt that the ending was the only romantic or encouraging. Was anyway romantic or encouraging. Spoiler, don't read the following paragraphs if you don't know.
First off, can I interrupt?
Sure.
I don't think she meant for it to be romantic.
Yeah.
She meant for it to show the lesson of continue to live your life. Live it as big as you can, even if that's staying home. Live your life.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, they just break everything down. Crystal H says, most disappointing book ever. Spoilers. Into book spoilers. I'll start by saying I did thoroughly enjoy the book until it ended. Lou seemed kind of dim-witted at the beginning, but she was a charming, warm character who slowly discovered who she is and came out of her own shell. That was a joy to read. Will was the kind of an ass, and needed someone to knock him down off his high horse. Yeah, which is true, which she did, and that was the point of her, not point of her, but she came in and did that for the book.
She didn't knock him over his head, basically.
Let's see. Unfortunately, one cannot give the book a bad rating without a spoiler. So, well, good thing about it is that it is only 1% of bad ratings, or 1 stars.
Yeah, because I think it's a really good book.
Yeah, it's a 4.7 out of 5. Out of 3466 reviews on Amazon. So
it's pretty good for for a book on Amazon.
Seems pretty decent. Okay. That was my 1-star reviews.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some more research next time, so that way I have some bangers.
Bangers. Okay, you ready to hear about next week's book?
What you got?
So the next book is from by Lucy Foley. It's called The Guest List. It is part of Reese's book club. I think that's Reese Witherspoon. I don't know. I'd have to check. But
it's either a Reese Witherspoon or Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces. Okay, this is what it's about. You ready?
I am ready.
An exclusive wedding on a remote Irish island. Okay. The bride, the +1, the best man, the wedding planner, the bridesmaid. All have a secret. All have a motive, but only one is a murderer.
That's it?
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun.
And you're going to get multiple POVs from each one of those characters. And this is, let's see.
What's my page count?
313.
What's my chapter count?
It doesn't have chapter counts. It just goes, so it's the POV, whoever's.
It just switches.
Yeah, so there's now on the wedding night, then there's Hannah, then there's the wedding night, then there's Hannah again, there's Hannah's in this a lot. Hold on. There's Jono.
Nice.
We know a real life Jono. There's Olivia. So Jules. There's lots of different characters.
Sweet. So, have we been to this remote island in Ireland?
We have not, but I read this after we went to Ireland.
What were the islands that we went to? The Aran Islands?
Aran Islands.
Yeah, those were cool. Can I try to read it now?
Yeah. Do your best. You got to say what the book is and the author's name too.
Lucy Foley, The Guest List. Wait, where do I start reading from? The whole book? I love this book. Alex McD-
That's a review. Under that.
Do I start with the yellow or the white?
White.
And where do I stop?
The white.
Okay, let's try this again. Lucy Foley, The Guest List. Lucy Foley, The Guest List. An exclusive wedding on a remote Irish island. The bride, the plus one, the best man, the wedding planner, the bridesmaid. All have a secret. All have a motive. But only one is a murderer. And don't miss. Lucy oh, wait, that was white down here. I suppose.
I like the deep voice.
It's my reading voice. Cool. All right. Well, I'm excited for that. So everybody follow along. Read it. And then next Thursday we'll discuss it.
Yeah, this one is basically a murder mystery in real time.
Sweet.
Peace.
Like, subscribe.
Tell us what you want us to read. Comment.
We had one recommendation that we need to do Outlander.
Oh, for my sister?
Oh, yeah. Don't tell people.
From a random commenter.
From a random commenter. Yeah. We had a random YouTube comment. Outlander. Maybe we'll get to that one.